Hi, I just want to talk to you a little bit about week one. This will be my last day of the week wrap up, so you can get a sense of my reflections about how things are going, and I'll give you a look forward. There were a few things that we wanted to accomplish in this first week. The first one was we wanted to get to know each other a little bit better, and I thought we did that really well. I know for me, reading a little bit about you in your introductions, and then getting to see you, see your photos, and interact with you through video really helped me make a connection with you, put a name to the face. One of the things I think we could do maybe a little bit to help do that a little bit better would be some of you could create profiles on the discussion board and upload a photo. So it would be easier when we're at the discussion board if we wanted to click to that photo, click on your name. We could also remind ourselves who that is. I know for me, I know some of you from previous classes, but we do have a lot of students who are coming together for the first time, and there are a few students in this class that I haven't met before. So that would be my one piece of advice moving forward in that. The second thing we want to do is just learn how the course works. That meant taking a look at the technology, getting our way around the materials, the way we're going to interact with each other. And I think that's going really well. I know there are a few people who still have some technology glitches, but I've watched people overcome some of their technology issues this week, and they've done it masterfully. I know that if you still have some, let me know. I get a feel that you're really interacting with the class well as a group. You're right on top of the discussion boards and the assignments, and you seem to get a feel for the website, knowing that I usually turn over the class sometime in the evening before. So on a Wednesday, I'll go in that night and I'll switch everything over for the Thursday morning class so that you can get in late at night or early the next morning, and it'll be there. Friday's a little different because I like to wait until you've weighed in on the early morning discussion board before I make this recap video. So the Friday video will be probably the only thing that I actually do the morning of instead of the night before. The other thing was to start to introduce you to the idea of dilemma discussion, and we had two of them based around the trolley dilemma, and then the second one being the platform dilemma. And I told you in the Illuminate session I've done this many times, and I often get a very similar flow to the conversation, but this is the first time I've done it online, and I thought the thoughtfulness that you put into it really helped the conversation flow naturally. So I was very pleased with the way the trolley dilemma went. There's one more thing that's now really in your court, something that I would usually do in class, is walk through the 7 stages of moral decision making model. Now I made a PowerPoint with embedded embedded audio in it and posted that on the website. So now the impetus is on you, if you haven't already, to look at that audio and to connect it with the dilemma discussion, so it'll help you remember how those 7 stages work. We'll keep coming back to those 7 stages, and that's going to be a cognitive hook we can hang some of these dilemmas on, if you will, or a lens to see these moral dilemmas through is maybe a metaphor to use that'll help us think about the usefulness of the 7-stage model. We'll learn other models as well as the semester goes on. One particularly is a schema theory model, which we'll be introducing very soon. And those two, the schema model and the 7-stage model, will be the two primary lenses we see these dilemmas through as the semester goes on. And then the last thing that I really wanted us to focus on this week was to understand what's the meaning of education. And I think that from what I can read already, I don't have to do much to teach you why that's important for a class like this. But just to give you my own thoughts, I think that too often we jump to trying to understand the moral context without understanding other foundational context in a situation. And in education, it does matter, I think, to know why children are there. It does matter, I think, to know the values that we have in the enterprise of education. It matters to know what's important and what's more important than other things in why we teach and why we think it's important that students learn. Because if we don't understand those inherent values that we already have in our educational system, it's very hard sometimes to make moral decisions when we're balancing one of those values against another, or some of those values are being compromised. And as we get into some of the more sophisticated moral dilemmas moving forward, I'll give you examples where some of those values are being compromised. And what makes them a dilemma is that the reason that we think education is important, or the thing that makes education of great value in our society, which is not just one thing, there are many, as you're talking about in your post. A few of those many become mutually exclusive for a student or a group of students because of circumstance or because of other people who are trying to take things away from them. So that becomes a deep moral dilemma that people who work in schools or work with children, even outside the school context, they deal with every day. So I think we're off to a great start. I'm very pleased with how I think this online experience is paralleling the kind of work I'd be getting from students in an in-class environment. It's clear you've done a good job as a group dissecting the early readings and the discussion board. I'm very excited to see what's going to come from that as you go back and start to reflect on your colleagues' writing. So I was up late last night reading what you put on the discussion board, and just very encouraged by the start that this class has gotten. So thanks for the good work so far. I'm very excited to read what you've written today on the discussion board, and then next week we'll be diving into again some more sophisticated dilemma discussions, as well as another simple one like the trolley dilemma that'll I think push you a little bit again, hopefully like the trolley did. So have a great weekend, and I'll see you online soon.